Hey guys, what's up? My name's Anthony and welcome to MGC. On this show, I'll be bringing you reviews, suggestions, news, and my opinions on all things movies, games, and comic books. On today's episode, I'll be discussing the new UFC 2 trailer, DareDevil Season 2 new trailer, my suggestion of the week, and Star Wars Force Awakens, my review. Check that out. The new UFC game is coming out really soon, like March 15th soon. And let me tell you what, I'm really excited. I mean, as you can see, I'm a little bit of a fan of the franchise. Now that being said, in the new video, I'm very excited what we gotta see. We gotta see TKOs to the body and to the leg, and improved head movement, which is an upgrade from the previous game. Just like in Undisputed 3, where we got full rage head movement, this game seems to take a page from that notebook and bring it to the new game. The graphics are slightly better in this game, and have you seen the KOs? I mean, look at them. They are vastly better than the previous game. I mean, if you're like me and played the previous EA UFC game, same KOs over and over again. Once you played a certain amount of rounds, you're just like, let's see some new knockouts. Speaking of the grappling system, we got a lot of new animations, flips, and flying arm bars, which is great. There's a new mini-game animation that we see in the trailer. It looks very interesting. I'm really interested to see how that portrays in the game and how we can use that, and if it's actually a good system that they're implementing. I'm super pumped for this game, and all the characters they announced, Boss Rutan finally in the game, and I just really hope this game's going to be good. So on TV Talk, we talk about all things TV and Netflix related. And in this, we're talking about Daredevil. Finally, Daredevil is coming out. And just like UFC, it's coming out in March. March 18th to be exact. If you haven't seen the first season, what are you doing? Go watch it right now. But in all seriousness, the first season was amazing. It had great action, awesome acting, and the cinematography was beautiful. The tonality and everything was just great. This season, I hope, is even better than the last. In the new season, we're getting all new characters. We're getting Elektra and one of my favorite Marvel characters, the Punisher. Speaking of the trailer though, we get images of the previous season all coming together to form the Punisher skull, and it's just amazing. I was fanboying and I was like, yes, Punisher and Daredevil and Punisher together. But yeah, I'm just really excited for the show and I really hope it's awesome. Check This Out is where I suggest movies, games, and comics to check out. This week it's the comic The Strange Town of Luther Strode. This one right here. It's written by Justin Jordan and one of my favorite artists, Tradd Moore. Luther Strode is about your average geeky kid who wants to get strong. So he reads the Hercules method and he gets like these crazy superhuman strength ability. This comic book is full of action, fighting, violence, and blood. A lot of it. This is definitely for a mature audience. But if you like books that are very well written, with beautiful artwork, and that are action-y and violent, this is definitely a book I would suggest you checking out. You can also check out the other books they have, The Legend of Luther Strode, and the ongoing The Legacy of Luther Strode. So this is my review of Star Wars The Force Awakens. How I do movie reviews is we're going to go with pros first, and then cons, and then the final thoughts. Just an FYI guys, there will be spoilers ahead, so I'm going to leave some spoiler alerts just so you guys can skip over if you haven't seen Star Wars yet, but I mean like, who hasn't seen Star Wars yet? Let's start with the pros. The directing to this movie was great. The acting was amazing, especially with all the new cast and characters that we got. Cinematography was great as well. Beautiful shots that we got. The locations in the movie were very beautiful. It was actually on location. They actually went to all these places and you could really tell when you were watching the movie. Unlike the prequels where it was like all green screen and, you know, how that looked. The one thing I did like about this movie was it was actually funny. I laughed quite a few times watching this. I love the character BB-8 and his little jokes that he has, and other characters and all their funny little quips. The action in this movie was great. I mean, what do you expect from a Star Wars movie? Awesome action, and it definitely delivered. So I'm going to start by talking about the characters. Let's talk about Poe. Played by Oscar Isaac, did an awesome job in his role. Him and John Boyega, their chemistry on scene was great. I mean, his little quips that they had when they were escaping the ship was just great. I love the scene where they're in the ship and Poe's asking what Finn's name is, and Finn doesn't know his name because he's just a stormtrooper, so he's like, I'm gonna call you Finn! And it's just really awesome, and you're like, yeah, bros, bro man! Speaking of Finn, played by John Boyega, which he's also in the movie Attack on the Block, which if you haven't seen that movie, I highly suggest watching that. He also did a really great job. You get to see, you know, character development of a stormtrooper to hero, which we've never seen in any Star Wars film, which I really enjoyed. You know, we get to see him like disgruntled and just doesn't know what he wants, you know, as a stormtrooper, and then we see him grow and build as a character to become this hero. And I love the chemistry he has, not only with Poe, but also with Rey. Like in the beginning when, you know, they first interact and they have the whole scene where they're like, he keeps on grabbing her hand. She's like, stop grabbing my hand! And it was just really funny, and, you know, I like that. Also, Finn and BB-8 scenes were hilarious. When they're on the ship and BB-8 flips him off, that was great, with his little lighter hand. Speaking of BB-8, I really enjoyed his character. I was, you know, debating on, like, is he going to be as good as R2-D2, you know, because obviously he's going to be the R2-D2 of this movie, even though R2-D2 is in this movie, but he is just a great character. He's not annoying, he's awesome, he's funny. His little, like, wah! When he flies around reminds me a lot of Wall-E in a sense, but yeah, just a great character. Also, another character who I very much enjoyed, who I think stole the show, is Rey. Rey, played by Daisy Ridley, did an amazing job. Her character progression and just everything we don't know about her just makes me more interested in her, knowing her story, and just wanting to find out what's next in the next film. I love how the film starts with her being this scavenger, and you know, she can handle herself with her staff, and I love her staff, by the way. Her weapon of choice is just really great. I think the chemistry Rey has with Finn is just great. I don't know if there's going to be like this like love thing that's going to be going on with in the next episode, or if they're just going to be friends. I just really hope in the next movie she gets like an awesome staff lightsaber or something that goes with her staff, because I mean she knows how to use that. Now I'm going to get to Kylo Ren in a second, but I just want to hit on the original cast. The original cast, we got Leia, Chewbacca, Han, and Luke, and I think everyone portrayed their roles perfectly with what they needed. The scenes between Leia and Han were great and emotional. You're like, you know, you're actually feeling for these characters because you grew up with these people, you know, if you watch the original film. You know, Han and Chewbacca are great. You know, Han's wit is still there, you know, he's still funny, and I love the scenes where he grabs Chewbacca's crossbow and he's just like, I really like this, you know, and he just like really is like, let me use that again, because he realizes how powerful Chewbacca's weapon is. It's kind of funny because it's like, he's been with him for this long, he's never tried his bow before. So on to Kylo Ren. I enjoyed his character a lot. He's very multi-dimensional. You know, I feel like we're definitely going to be growing with Kylo Ren. I really feel like we're going to progress with Kylo Ren throughout the movies and his growth as a character. I see a lot on the internet, people giving Kylo Ren a lot of flack, saying he's emotional and a crybaby and stuff, but I think that enhances his character. I'm not saying he's a crybaby, but his tantrums that he has, you know, when he slashes up the walls and stuff, I think that's a part of his character, because he's kind of in the middle grounds of dark side and light side. He doesn't know where he really wants to stand right now. I really like his lightsaber, how it's like makeshift and like the crossblade and just like staticky and just really like grungy and stuff. I love his character design. His mask looks great, and even without his mask, I think he looks good. He looks just like Anakin Skywalker. I mean, obviously not just like the actor, but he has the same look. A lot of people who are saying, you know, he's like, oh, fancy. I don't know. I think he looks nice. So I want to kind of get into the fight scene with Kylo Ren, Finn, and Rey. Now, if you want to consider this a spoiler, you can skip to here. How I see this scene is Kylo Ren just got shot by Chewbacca with his crossbow. And if we've seen from the damage his bow does to enemies, he's making stormtroopers fly. You know, he's delivering a packful punch with that crossbow. And Kylo Ren got hit, took a kneel, and trooper through it. Kylo Ren gets hit by this bullet and just goes on to fight two people. To me, Kylo Ren is no pushover. He took that and powered through it. I love the scene where he's hitting the side of him and he's just like, you know, let's go, bring it. You know, fight me. A lot of people were like, you know, how can Finn fight Kylo Ren? You know, he's not a skilled lightsaber duelist, and Kylo Ren's trained. How is Finn even a match? You know, I understand a little bit of the argument, but then again, Finn is a stormtrooper. You know, he has some combat experience. Not a lot, because he was still a new stormtrooper, but he still has already fought with the lightsaber. The one stormtrooper with the flingy baton, and he's used the lightsaber before he even fought Kylo Ren. So he still has he still has some practice with the lightsaber, and he still gets his butt kicked by Kylo Ren. There's no ifs, ands, or about that. Finn still gets beat by Kylo Ren pretty bad. Kylo Ren could have, killed him, but he didn't. He sliced him, and, I loved that scene because it was really great, back and forth, and kind of like, you're no match for me. I'm the better one. And I really like when Rey came in and, she started fighting him. And I don't know if it was just me, but, when the lightsaber was in the snow and, he's just, he's like trying to grab it and we see it fly off. Was I the only one who thought it was going to be Luke Skywalker? I thought it was going to be Luke Skywalker. When Rey pops out and they start going at it, I was like, yes, this is great. I think it was good to see Rey fight with the lightsaber because, we get to see how she matches with Kylo Ren. And you have to still think, Kylo Ren is still new, still learning, and, he hasn't fought many people with his lightsaber. A lot of people were talking about, oh, well, shouldn't Kylo Ren be able to defeat both of them with ease? Well, Kylo Ren hasn't had a match in a very long time, or if ever. Maybe the last match he had was when he was training with Luke Skywalker, because there's no Jedis around. So this is the really first lightsaber duel he's ever had, really, to our knowledge. And I think the match was really well put together. A lot of people were like, why was Kylo Ren getting beat? And to me, Kylo Ren wasn't really getting beaten. Like, yeah, at the very end he was on the floor, but you have to remember, he's fighting a serious wound on his side. And even though he's fighting that wound, he's still putting the pressure on Rey throughout the fight until the Earth splits in two and, they get separated. So I think, both characters have a lot of room to grow, not only with their lightsaber skills, but also just their character development, which I think all the characters that are new to this film are very well put together, and I am just very looking forward to growing with them in the next movie installment. Just like any Star Wars film, the lightsaber duel was awesome. The effects were great. I loved how Kylo Ren's blades crackled and, kind of shot its plasma out. Speaking of lightsabers, the CGI in this movie was great. Well, most of it was. The ships were amazing, all the TIE fighters and all the ships and space and the lightsabers and some of the creatures they had were just beautiful looking. They fit into the movie. It was awesome. Even the practical effects were great. I love that they used practical effects. They used puppets. I really like the Easter eggs as well. They had the chess game on the Millennium Falcon, and they also had, the practice droid that Luke used in the original movies, which I thought was a great, nudge at the old film. So now I want to talk about some cons in the film. Now, there's not many, but there are a few. The first is Captain Phasm. Now, before the movie even came out, she was postered everywhere. She's on the billboards, she's on the posters, she's in toys, she's everywhere. And I was like, okay, this is going to be a cool stormtrooper. She's big, she's metal, she has an awesome outfit. This is going to be a really entertaining character. She wasn't. She had, 3 scenes, and that was it. I mean, to me it was a very big letdown and disappointment, because she did nothing that made me think she was a cool character. The first scene she had was she told the stormtroopers to kill the civilians. The second scene was on the starship with Finn, where she's like, let me check your blaster, I want to see how many shots you shot. And the third was when Finn was holding her up, telling her to lower the shields, and she's like, you're gonna regret this. But other than that, what'd she do? She didn't do anything cool. I really thought they were gonna push her out there and have her as this awesome stormtrooper captain, and she's gonna be fierce and a warrior. There was no fight scenes with her, and it's just like, I wanted something at least. I just really hope in the next film we get something with her being awesome, as they made us think we were gonna see. Another character I didn't really like was Snoke. What I didn't like about Snoke was the CGI. He just looked really bad. Snoke and Maz Kanata, their CGI just was Like, the CGI in the movie had good points and then just some bad points. And I just think both the CGI of Snoke and Maz could have been better and would have made their scenes a whole lot better than they were. Also, I'm really interested, it's not really a con, but I'm really interested in seeing who Snoke is and what's behind that hologram. Another con I have with this movie, but I kind of see why it had to happen after seeing the movie and talking with people, which, another spoiler alert, you can skip here if you don't want to hear this. Big thing that I did not like about it was Han dying. Now, I understand, a lot of people didn't like this, and some people actually did like this. But to me, I love Han. Han is a great character. At first I didn't see why they had to kill Han, but rewatching it and thinking about it and talking with people, I could see why they needed to kill Han, just like they needed to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi in the originals and Qui-Gon Jinn in the other one, in the prequels. You know, I see, you know, the character progression with Kylo Ren, you know, that needed to happen, and other characters such as Leia couldn't die because it wouldn't be as impactful as Han dying. But other than that, like I said, the cons are really low in this movie because this movie is a really great movie. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. This is definitely top 4 Star Wars films. I need to rewatch original 3 to see where The Force Awakens ranks in there, but it's definitely above, you know, the prequels. In all, I really enjoyed this movie. I would definitely watch it again. I know a lot of people are saying it's like the previous movies, you know, plot-wise, but to me, I think it's enough difference to make its own film and to make it stand out, especially with all the new characters they introduced and all the character development. In all, what I give Star Wars The Force Awakens, I give it a 9 out of 10. Now, if you guys enjoyed Star Wars, or if you didn't, you know, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you thought about the movie, or, you know, if you guys have any suggestions of what you guys want to see in future videos, you know, leave a comment down. We're going to have new videos coming out every week, not just movie reviews, games, and comic books, but also top 10 videos of my favorites of movies, games, and comic books, but just other fun videos. Hit that subscribe button if you guys want to see some more videos, and thanks for watching.